We're talking about Nightcrawler, Marvel's
Yeah, we are.
Nightcrawler. Guys, this is gonna be a great episode.
It's our voices with your imagination. Our theories take us down endless rabbit holes. We give our fellow nerds something to consider at the gaming table. Follow us as the Nerd Pow Wow.
He was in the circus, dropped because basically the town folk wanted to kill him because he was a baby demon. His mother Mystique just dropped him right into a ravine, and luckily he left. He lived. He was in the circus, and he's lived an interesting life. And doing homework on him, he's definitely had some of the love conquests I'd like to talk about during the show as well. So yeah,
love
I
conquest.
thought he was just goody two shoes. I mean, the animated series made him look like that. The movie made him look like that when he wasn't under Stryker's control. So yeah, what about you guys? Nightcrawler came out in 1975, Giant Size X-Men #1, but it was fascinating to know that the creator of him actually worked for DC at the time, and when he presented that idea, it got squashed. So eventually this the writer left DC, came to Marvel, and Nightcrawler was born. So that's a interesting thing. DC could have had him, but they didn't like the idea.
I don't know how you don't. Yeah, I don't know how you don't like the idea of Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler's always been one of my top favorite X-Men. The crew that he started with, the Giant Size X-Men #1, with the crew that was recruited by Xavier to save the Krakoan misstep. That introduced him, Wolverine, Colossus, Sunfire, Banshee, Thunderbird, Storm, and it was. Right. I don't know that there's been a bigger canonical introduction of a team where just about all of the members became mainstays of the team for all time since their inception. And you don't get much bigger than Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Colossus, Storm. Oh. Those four at the very least are just from the day they were introduced, they are. We've had a lot of characters introduced that fall to the wayside, or they're just never really these guys. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of that, and these guys are just important. And the elf is a very, very important part of that part. I've always thought he was a great character. So you're talking about his mom, Mystique, and that really got convoluted and weird, right?
Yeah, they changed things up. Yep.
Yeah. So there was a prophecy of some kind where they found that Azazel's child was was going to do some terrible things. So they were trying to create one that would stop him, but it had to be genetically related to Azazel, but they didn't want it to be Azazel's son. So Destiny and Mystique, who were married, concocted this plan while Mystique was with who he originally thought was his father. Long story short, she morphed into a genetic duplicate of Azazel and knocked Mystique up, or knocked Destiny up. So Destiny is officially his mother, and Mystique is his father. Mystique, as Azazel.
You are the father.
Yeah, you are the father. It's really quite strange. And they always they hinted at Mystique and him having some type of connection through the comics long before they were actually was that ever even confirmed. But a lot of that was just because they have the similar blue, etc. But the thing is Nightcrawler's skin is not blue. He's covered he's in blue fur. Furry. He is covered in a very, very low or a short blue fur. So it's, I don't know. I don't love the canonical changes there. Not for any bad reason. It just seems like they are forcing the he kind of looked like Mystique when we drew him. So we've got to connect him to Mystique in some way. And I don't know why that was necessary. I liked him as this orphan. His parents got rid of him, and he was found by a gypsy who performed magic, and that's why he has some limited mystical abilities, and because he plays in the mystical world quite a bit. One of his love interests, what's her name? Did you encounter her, the sorceress girl, Wayne? What was her name? I can't think of. She was a big one, but he was with her for quite a while, and she worked with Strange and everything else. Hold on a second, let me find that.
There's a Day Tripper and there's a Megan.
No, Megan was from that's Brian Braddock, Captain Excalibur. Yeah, when he was with Excalibur.
Sharice is from the Shi'ar. And the Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch and him actually had a child named Nocturne.
It was Amanda Sefton. She's his longest. Amanda Sefton. She was like his longest term.
Foster sister.
What's that?
Foster sister.
Yeah, but they were together. I mean, it was
Oh yeah, for a very long time.
And then they kind of changed her name around, and she became Zazardos or however you pronounce it, Jermaine.
Right.
But she's she's Margali's, his foster mom's biological daughter. They were kind of raised together as that, but that's the one I was thinking of. He was with her for quite a while in the early days.
Right.
So, but yeah.
And it looks like he had at least 2 children. Third is a possible connection. One is Nocturne between him and Scarlet Witch, and then Kiki Wagner from Charisse from Shi'ar. That's an alternate future timeline reference. Then Abyss is the one that's rumored, speculated, descendant, or related in an older story discussion.
Yeah, because all of those were more non-616, right?
They were, correct. Yeah. I believe Nocturne came to 616 after the fact. But yeah, they were alternate worlds, universe.
Nocturne is cool looking.
Yeah.
She quite literally looks like a female Nightcrawler, but that's cool looking to me. Yeah, I really liked her. Really like that. And you guys know that did you follow any of the stuff about when he died? So he died. Bastion killed him.
Right.
Sorry, that my little dog is having a little coughing issue, and that the sound is there. But yeah, I feel bad for her. You okay, puppy? But he sacrificed himself to save Hope Summers, and he actually went to heaven. And while he was in heaven, he was helping the X-Men out a little bit, etc. And while that was happening, the Nightcrawler from Age of Apocalypse came about, and he was with the X-Men for a bit doing that, but then through some hoodoo as you do in Marvel Comics, he was resurrected. He helped, but he did it wasn't a typical like he's suddenly back. There was actually a storyline for it. He actually did some things in heaven, but when he returned, he didn't have a soul. They never really explained if he ever got his soul back. That it's kind of like it just kind of got lost in the nether on whether or not, so he may still be running around without a soul. But they don't. But it just kind of became a thing. He was, especially after the Krakoa Chronicles, when everybody's getting resurrected and everything else. So I think they wanted to leave the question of souls kind of out of it because it didn't fit the narrative quite as well. But it's just very interesting. I don't know. I'm just such a fan of him, and I like the swashbuckling, sword wielding.
Oh yeah, it's so sick.
Nightcrawler and stuff like that.
Oh, and how they did it in X-Men '97 was so freaking cool. Watching him teleport. Oh my gosh, my love for
2 swords
Nightcrawler, plus
one in his tail.
Yep, my love for Nightcrawler started with the animated series and blossomed from there. You see him as a religious figure, as a devil, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool concept, because there is a lot of stigmatizing with religion, and some people may see themselves, a little bit of a devil time. So, but Kurt, he's always just good. He's just a rock solid beacon of hope for the X-Men, and you know what? I really love that for Kurt. I love Night, one of my top X.
Even got Wolverine to go to church.
Yeah. How about it?
Yeah.
The comics, he has he's had times when it was when he had that faith thing, but he's bounced around a lot, with that kind of thing. Like I said, he's touching over into sorcery. He's got demonic roots. I think that's always so he's always kind of had to have some of that in his life. But I really did not like how they made him kind of fanatical in the X-Men movies. They made him this speaking gibberish, religious fanatic who's, I don't know, that just wasn't, that was not Kurt Wagner. Kurt Wagner's, maybe he's a little self-conscious because he used to use the image inducer all the time because he would kind of hide what he looked like, but he's always had a certain confidence, an air of fun, and everything else. He was kind of comical almost, and I didn't like they didn't go into that.
I read somewhere using that image inducer, he turned himself into Angelina Jolie. It was just something I read briefly. I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I did always love, one thing about Nightcrawler is such a simple thing, is I always did love the 3 appendages thing.
Yeah.
I
always thought that was kind of
that little extra mutation that just kind of brings him in as you're different.
Mm-hmm. He's only got 2 toes.
Yep.
He's got that weird back nub too, though, right?
Yeah, like an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's of all of the mutations in the X-Men, I think he's the most he might be the most wildly physical, at least until we got into the more recent stuff. I can't think of anybody who had more of a that many differences. Hands, teeth, prehensile tail, ears, fur. He had his eyes. I mean, he's got all kinds of things. Can't think of anybody until recently when you get into like who's the big blob of. It's not Blob. The guy's he's not known as Blob, but he looks kind of like a gelatinous.
Yeah,
thing.
it's like
I
a
can't think of his
skeleton
name.
inside.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't
Yeah,
know who that is. He just kind of appears.
Can't think of his name. I know his name, but
He comes up on every list of tragic X-Men. It's like this
Oh,
guy
right.
sucks.
He does, yeah. He made quite a few appearances in an animated series. He had no lines. There was an appearance of him.
Yep.
There he was.
Oh, it's not Blob. It's Glob.
Oh, Glob. Yeah, that's way different.
Yeah, that's why I was wrong. They've had some pretty cool storylines with Glob that I actually really liked. Like the entire thing where they would kind of go into the future where hold on. Cypher. When Cypher kind of becomes like a messiah for mutants and becomes he becomes the heir to Apocalypse. In that future, Glob is like a freedom fighter, and it's funny because you see Glob running around like kind of dressed like Rambo with his skeleton inside the this thing, but I don't know. But he was kind of, because he's always usually like a really gentle kind of goofy weird character, and he actually got really hardened by the event, so it's kind of neat to see some change up in his character. But yeah,
he's also got a couple other siblings. He's got Rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue is his
adopted
sister, and then also Graydon Creed. Graydon Creed is the child of Mystique and Sabretooth, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
He hates mutants. He hates what brought him into this world.
Yeah, he does.
He's part of the Friends of Humanity. So do you know the horns? So you're saying Nightcrawler has horns now. Are those alternate universes? It's not 616, is it?
No,
he has those?
I believe it's 616.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it was an event in 616 when he I have not read those comics, but it was called excuse the bright light of this monitor, it's crazy.
Oh.
But it was part of the Legion of X in 2022. So it was in the main storyline. Sins of the Sinister is when that all of it took place, but I have not read that storyline at all. And they've changed wildly. Like they came out kind of small, and then some other things were happening. They've become like, sometimes he's even become like bestial. So, but like I said, I haven't read those to know much about what's going on with them. Kind of different. They started off real small, and then they got significantly larger because he joined up with Kitty Pryde in the Marauders, which I still strongly disagree with them ever naming a comic book the Marauders that had X-Men as the main characters. The Marauders devastated them, put them through some of the, and they explained why, but I still don't buy it because it put them through some like hell. It altered some of their lives tragically for all time. I sure as shit wouldn't memorialize that or put a name on that. Ugh, I don't know. I just don't like that. But I do like him as a swashbuckling person running around with Kitty Pryde, and they're all playing like pirates and shit. That I like. But I also liked when he was we mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but I also loved when he was Spider-Man for a while. When he was
he
was running around Spider-Man. That was kind of neat.
It was a nice if then you told too.
Yeah. We have the Nightcrawler have the powers of Peter Parker. Man, super OP'd get all the kind of battle troll, right, where you can just get people out of the comp. Nope, you're going with me.
Yeah, the sheer agility of that would just be incredible.
Yeah,
like he's already so agile, and you add Peter's shit with that, like, come on.
Then he has the web swinging, and he conserves his momentum whenever he teleports.
Oh yeah, his momentum carries.
Yeah,
and that's one limitation to his powers. He cannot teleport somewhere that he has never seen. He has to have seen the place.
Yeah.
He said earlier on that he didn't want to do it because if he just randomly teleports, he could teleport into something and that would be bad. Yeah, but here's the thing that makes that kind of funny though, is because that's one writer knowing or thinking about teleportation in one way, and another writer thinking about teleportation in another way. Because the reason when he teleports that it smells like brimstone is he's actually passing through another dimension. So he's just pushing reality here, making a door on this side, passing through a small pocket of the brimstone dimension and coming out over here. If that were the case, then unless he would more like run into a solid object, not become integral with the solid object. He's not teleporting where he's breaking down his corporeal form and then reconfiguring it. So
more like stepping through a door. It might look weird, like he didn't BAMF right, he just BAMFs in the same spot, right? That's how I would see it happening.
Hit something to the side, but
maybe a little dazed.
Yeah, teleporting to the side. But
there was a a 4-part comic. It's called Nightcrawler. It's from 2014, Chris Claremont, and it had the BAMFs in it. Those little Nightcrawler guys. And I always liked them. They're a little mischievous guys. They're stowaways. They're pests. They just bug them. It was when my daughter was born in 2021. That's when I read her the comics as an infant. And there's a special picture. It's me reading the comic, and she's just looking over at my wife like, "Help me, Mom, help me." Dad's reading to me again. So, but I really like those 4-part series. It was cool. I like the BAMF.
And the BAMFs were part of the storyline that brought him back when he was dead too. So
yeah, they basically started appearing after his resurrection, and at first he doesn't fully understand what they are.
Yeah,
which
understandably, small little weird versions of me were running around. I'd be like,
You're like, I don't know if I like this.
Finally flipped over to the dark side here. Yeah, but I mean, he's been a lot. I loved him when Excalibur. You mentioned Megan earlier. There's a scene in Excalibur where him and Megan are kind of doing a Megan the shapeshifter. So they're working out in this gymnasium that has like all kinds of bars, so they can do super agile stuff, etc. And they're getting closer and closer, and they get kind of close, and it looks like they're gonna like kiss, and she morphs into like a female version of him, and it's such a cool art in that picture. That image was really well done. And then he's like realizes what's about to happen and hurries up and teleports out of there because A, Brian's his friend, and B, Brian is Captain Britain, and you don't necessarily want to piss off Captain Britain, especially when you're stationed in Britain. He's still getting fully powered up from the soil. So, but yeah, I loved that team. That team to me was some of the best readings. Even when it got a little weird with the TechNet and Saturnine stuff, and it started getting it got very British. It sounds funny, but but it just had that like whole British twist to it. The humor, which I really enjoy, but it isn't for everyone when it comes to the comic realm, or at least the Marvel comics that I've seen. So it just got really different, and I really liked it. But I miss it. I kind of missed the Excalibur thing, but it was a neat team. How about you guys? What was your favorite storyline with him? John, you said yours was like in the animated show.
Yeah, I liked a lot with the animated series, and I would go with one of the original ones. But honestly, 97, watching him fighting against Bastion's robots and just watching him be able to just go ham, not care that he's just destroying these things. It was it's really cool seeing Nightcrawler just do his full swashbuckler thing in animation.
Yep. Yeah, I too. How about you, Wayne?
I think it was the first time I ever saw him was in the X-Men animated series. But that 4-part comic book from 2014, that I enjoyed that. It was something fun, and it has something. I got to read it to my daughter, and whether she liked it, obviously she didn't understand, but it's something. It's a great memory, and he's just a great character. I would like to say that I really liked him in the X-Men movie. I believe he was in the Last Stand, right? That's the one he was in. I didn't really like how they portrayed him. No, it was X2. Yeah, it was X2 because at the end there, he was going to go save Jean Grey as she's trying to save them from the flood, and she was stopping him from bamfing off the plane. So yeah, it was X2. And then I actually liked him in the one with the kids. First Class, X-Men First Class. I thought he was a pretty cool character.
That was better. I didn't mind the casting of the first and X2 and stuff, but I just did not feel like that just wasn't Nightcrawler to me. Yeah. So I know I've brought this one up before because I talked about Storm wielding Mjolnir, but you guys really should find a way to read the giant-sized annual X-Men number 9. It's when it's when the X-Men go to Asgard. It's just fantastic. And you guys know who the Warriors 3 are? It's Hogun the Grim, Fandral the Dashing, and Volstagg the Enormous. They're 3 heroes that are really close friends of Thor's that he grew up with. Okay. They only really run around in Asgard and stuff, but Fandral the Dashing is very much a Robin Hood-esque character. He's got the blonde, pointy beard. He's very literally dashing. He's like all the girls are swooning. Hogun is your typical kind of Mongol-looking guy. He's got the Mongol mustache and the horn beard. He looks like he's from the Mongol hordes. And then Volstagg is this giant, massive Viking-looking dude, and he's big, and he's just large. But they're very swashbuckling in nature, all 3 of them. And Nightcrawler's palling around with them while they're stuck in Asgard, and it was just great seeing him as part of those people's group. That was one of my favorite times with him, because that's the first time I saw him really leaning into swashbuckling thing.
Okay.
That was
Yeah.
really, that was 1985. So it might have been the first time he was into the swashbuckling thing, because that was a long time ago. But I remember owning or buying and reading that one, and that was just, I mean, I was what, 13 years old. So this is like, shit was like awesome to me at that point in time. I couldn't get enough of it. So, and like I said, that whole, they were like stuck in Asgard. They were thinking that they were going to have to live there. So Ron, Wolfsbane had found a love of the wolves, the werewolf type people that lived there, and had a child. That becomes a whole storyline and stuff. Everybody was just kind of going off and doing their own things and building lives inside of Asgard, and it was really neat. And it was all encased in one book, beginning to end. So it was like a one-shot story. There's no, the annuals were neat. They don't really do the annuals much like that anymore, but they were like one-off stories. And I don't know, they were just kind of cool, like larger adventure. But that one stands out. It had all of the X-Men, all of the New Mutants in there. I think was the main grouping.
Did you guys ever watch X-Men Evolution, the cartoon?
A
Yeah.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Nightcrawler was in that. They had Mystique as his mother in that again. He was kind of, I mean, it was basically, he was more vulnerable type of character, but he was really good in it. His powers were very well animated in that as well. He had more of the blue smoke, and crawling across walls and ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Which is an underplayed ability that they don't talk that up enough, that he can do that.
Right.
And then obviously they played it up when he was subbing in for Spidey, but I think that's a really important thing, because I would love to, like, of all the X-Men, like physically he's not the most imposing of them, but just the ability to be able to be that agile, to be able to do all of those different things and then teleport on top of it. I mean, his survivability is probably second to none. His search and rescue, even though you're probably going to puke your guts out if he teleports you, but his ability to get in and out, he's like almost like the perfect rogue, even though his personality is very counter. And by rogue, I obviously don't mean Rogue the X-Men. I mean a rogue,
like a D&D rogue.
Yeah, like a D&D type rogue. But his personality is very counter to that. He's more mischievous. Did you guys ever watch the original Conan series with the Tales of Conan with Kevin Sorbo and all of that?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so they had what's his name, who we've talked about a million times, one of our favorite human beings on the face of the planet.
Are you talking about Hercules?
Oh, yeah. Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell was the Prince of Thieves in that show, and
Xena,
he just had that. His personality in that was very Nightcrawler-esque to me. Like, I could see Nightcrawler being that kind of like that lighthearted character. I don't know if he'd necessarily be a thief, but just that acrobat. He's always spinning or rolling or doing something when he's coming into the room, But that kind of rogue, I could see him being that personality-wise. Who would you guys cast as Nightcrawler?
Good question. Because I think who they had him in X2, I don't think he was a popular actor.
I thought he did okay, but I just didn't like how the character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They could have done so much better, in my opinion. But even though I love all the X-Men movies, I love them all,
even with their warts.
even with their warts. But that's a very good question, because
Alan Cumming was the one you're thinking of. I mean, Alan Cumming's pretty huge.
Yeah,
and he's a pretty popular actor. But and then they had that Cody McPhee was the younger one they had in the whatever. But I mean, that kid's not bad. But I think of I also don't think of Kurt as scrawny. That kid was kind of scrawny. No offense, he's just a scrawny person. I think they were trying to play too much into the elongated nature of him, these like lean and everything else. But the original Nightcrawlers, he's lean, but he's not scrawny.
I think in X-Men 97 they kind of made him a little scrawnier than others.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's small, but he's still muscular and. Yeah. That's how I think of him. He's definitely the smaller of the X-Men. He might be the smallest.
You might smack me for this, but what about Jared Leto?
Physically, not bad.
Yeah.
Skill-wise, get the heck out of here. And I don't hate Jared Leto. I actually have seen him in roles that I liked, roles that fit Jared Leto acting. But he's just a lot of times he's put into roles that they're not his skill set. Yeah, I don't know.
Andrew Garfield could pull it off. Yeah,
he could.
Yeah,
who could really pull it off? Honestly, is Spider-Man, the actor.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He really could. But we already have him.
Here's one from left field, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. Macaulay Culkin. They could get him for cheap, and I actually think he would be fine in the role. I think he would do good.
Hey, Macaulay's back in the acting,
Yeah, absolutely.
He came out in Fallout.
Yep. I watched him on he's sometimes he gets on a couple YouTube channels and whatnot, and he'll do like a guest. He's a really likable guy. Like, he went through a lot of crap. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. I don't know if I necessarily see him as being an agile guy swinging around.
Well, he would have to lean on that stunt actor, I think, but
Margot says Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. There's let's see this guy. I can't remember what this guy was in. I've seen his. I cannot credit myself, but this guy named Lewis Hoffman. I've seen his name bandied about, and I really think this guy could pull off Nightcrawler well. It's LOUISHOFMANN, and I just think that guy has the look of Nightcrawler.
Says he's German.
Stop.
There's a guy, Robert Sheehan from Misfit.
No, he's another one. I like Robert Sheehan a lot, but he's just not. I don't know. Robert Sheehan always plays this like kind of like sketchy dude. It's just not Nightcrawler. It's just not Nightcrawler.
You could see him. I don't know. I think he's a good enough actor. He could get away from that. Still make that. What if we're looking for a younger actor? What about Finn Wolfhard?
From Stranger Things. Mikey.
Maybe. Because he's bulked up a little bit.
Yeah.
We're Dustin from the Stranger Things.
No, not Dustin. Not Dusty Buns.
We're not casting
Dusty
Blob. Sorry,
What's his name? Gatton?
Sorry, I'm just joking.
His first name Gatton.
But that could pull it up. And that brings up people like Timothy Chalamet too. But more and more I'm becoming less and less a fan of his.
Yeah.
I don't know why. He has this air of like too much self-love, and that starts driving me nuts when people get that kind of, I don't know. Because I really like him in like Dune. He's really good in Dune. I really like the Dune movies that they've been doing with Zendaya and stuff. But I don't know. There's something about him that strikes me odd. But yeah, there's a lot of people that could play, because I always liked it. Like in the original one, he had like a squared off jaw. He didn't have that as narrow a devil face. He was just happened to be like when he used the image inducer, it was just a human version of him.
Yeah. And
he was a good looking person. He didn't have like this like angular face and stuff that we've kind of gotten into now, that artists have kind of demoned him out a little bit further. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd love to see a Nightcrawler like them to focus on him a little bit. I would love to see, like, they could make a great movie off of Nightcrawler's life. He could be a mainstay character when they start building. If they would build the X-Men out kind of like they built the Avengers out, they could really
Rochelle
do it.
Jay Baruchel.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
Again, look-wise, I could see it, but Jay, I don't know if you could get Jay when he wasn't stoned. Like every role he's ever in, he's like, oh man, I just I was here and then shit just happened, it's this and I'm like it's just, and then there was things going on, and he's always got his hands out in front of him. But yeah,
he could add some humor to the role, but
absolutely,
I don't know. I think he has more of an awkward humor than and maybe that could work for Nightcrawler, but I don't know. Nightcrawler's a comp.
Yeah, I want somebody that has like that swashbuckling. They need to have that little bit of bravado, I mean, really, honestly, the Tom Holland is really a good casting for him.
We can't use Tom Holland because he's so good as Spider-Man. He can't just be a very agile character.
It's too good, but his character could be very, like, his personality could really fit the bill.
Well, if we're doing Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, why not Tobey Maguire?
Yeah, it's too late for him.
75 years old now.
It's too late for him. I always thought of Nightcrawler. Okay.
I could see that in a lot of the ways he's been represented in media outside of the comics. In the comics, he's like one of the most loved characters. Like every single X-person wants to be close to Kurt. He's like the guy who never does anybody wrong. Everybody can go to Kurt. But in the movies they make him outlandish. They make him kind of odd. He's hyper fixated on religion, or he's quiet and weird and huddling to himself. He's not it's not Nightcrawler. I've never liked how he was reproduced or put out in media outside of the comic. And the one that they brought over from, that's what somebody else said, Robert Sheehan.
Yeah, Robert Sheehan.
If you could get Robert to act act as not like his normal characters. I've never seen him in a role where he wasn't like this like scurvy, sketchy dude. I love Robert Sheehan. I think he's great, but he's the dude. Every role he's in, like that dude's sketchy.
Yeah.
And he was fantastic in Misfits. He was fantastic in the Umbrella Academy. He just, I really like the actor, but I've never seen him do something where he wasn't playing that kind of character.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have to watch a few more of his things he's been in, because I really like him in those roles. I really like him as an actor. I think the only thing left for me is just to see a little bit of range from him to put him up there in my favorite actor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he has that range either. I've never watched him be anything but that. So if he does, great. But there's a lot of actors like that I don't mind that they are who they are, and they fit that one particular role. I don't mind that. It just, it's kind of like the special thing. What's up, Ice Knight?
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. We can have Nightcrawler sit.
Yeah.
Whee!
Good thing he can stick to things.
He's not staying.
He's not staying.
He's not staying.
Yeah, he in every X-Men dream team that I build, Nightcrawler's always part of that.
Yeah, he has so much utility.
Really
he does. He is. And I mean, scouting, rescuing. I mean, not to say this fighting isn't top notch. If he's got all kinds of utility. I mean, even his that rapid teleporting thing he does, really, it exhausts him, but it really screws up the person he does it to.
Yeah.
They're a mess afterwards, and that there's a lot of really powerful hero or villains that can't. They're still subject to vertigo, still subject to being sick.
Yep.
So it's like
so he has the teleportation. He can climb surfaces because he has like the suction cuppy thing. That's how he not like hairs like Spider. He has a flexible bone structure. He can blend in with shadows. He's like camouflage.
Oh
right?
yeah.
He has a prehensile tail which can wield a sword. I don't know. Does he have dark vision? I don't see that depicted, but I would imagine he does. He
absolutely has night vision.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, he absolutely has night vision.
Yep.
His glowing eyes give him. Yeah, he definitely has night vision, and his agility and reflexes and shit are heightened.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But they're superhuman. He isn't just really good or well trained. They're superhuman. So just I'm like, like I said, you think of all the other X-Men, they have one or two things. Nightcrawler has an arsenal of things.
All right, I'm going into his stat, and he actually has some crazy stats.
Really?
Compared to some of the other X, we have Austin. It will take me a minute to get it up on. Yeah, he's got
perfect
some
assassin
stuff.
Yeah, I was mentioning that earlier, Vargo, that he would be a fantastic rogue-like character. He's, in D&D rogue, not Marvel rogue. Like his ability to get in and out and everything else.
Yeah, usually we make more of a game of it, but a 5 in durabilities, nothing to sneeze at. And he has 3 7s. I don't think we've had a single character that has had 3 7 Marvel power.
I don't think there are any other characters that do.
Yeah, 7 energy, 7 fighting skill, and a 7 speed. Insane.
He's pretty smart too.
He's pretty smart, and then he's got average strength. I think four like up just above, right?
Yeah. I think 3 is average.
Yeah. Yep. So Nightcrawler is he's a real force. His morale.
Yeah. Well, that and teleporting fatigues him.
Yeah. Yep.
And he has to have been somewhere to teleport there.
Yeah, it's true too.
Because I think he teleported Hope Summers, I believe it was, from Las Vegas to one of the cities of California.
Utopia.
Yeah.
And that was devastating to him. That was the longest he ever teleported. That was a big one, yeah.
I guess you could say because of his appearance, he looks devil-like. That in a way is a weakness, because not all mutants have all these crazy physicality. Whereas he just looks like a straight up devil. Atypical to even the mutant with that most, right? So
right.
I would say that's a weak being an out, because if you're not
exactly
an X-person, you're not gonna like Kurt. Or at least you're not gonna know.
And it's exactly why he was being hunted by the mob in Germany, was because they thought he was demonic.
Yep.
Which he is. He's got half of his genetic build is demon.
Personality hinder him in some way. He's got a good personality, so I guess it would hurt anyone that's overly good.
I mean, the fact that he doesn't teleport people into walls to defeat them as villains, like, look, he has enough control of his teleportation. He teleports that he could grab onto somebody's head and just teleport their head somewhere else. He doesn't have to take the rest of the body. So
Even a limb.
His morality and the fact that he doesn't just go ham, just destroy. I think that's a little bit of a hit to him. Because he could be just super open, but hero. That's how we like our
that's it. He's a consummate hero. I mean, he's like he's when he comes to heroes in Marvel, Kurt stands out as kind of an infallible one in some ways. Like he's never crossed the line. I mean, obviously he has and there's been other things, but he doesn't cross the line. He doesn't. He's never out for like greed. He doesn't have an agenda.
Not vengeance.
He's just a good dude, and he's just looking to defend the defenseless. It's definitely I would love to see him get a little bit more main light, because I think that his character is deep. I mean, there's a real depth. It's a real depth to him, deeper than a lot of people. Like I'll get shot for saying this, but I think that he's just as deep, if not deeper, than like a Wolverine.
Oh, 100%.
He has just a robust a story, just a robust a history, and it isn't as cliche as Wolverine's is. Wolverine, he's a wild man. He's a beast. He can barely control his rage. He just claws and the healing fact. You know what I mean? I love him. I love Wolverine. He's great, but he ticks a lot of boxes, and that's why he's so popular. He's a badass. He just keeps ticking all of these dude boxes.
I want to be like him. I want claws in my hands.
Yeah.
Who hasn't put a bunch of butter knives in their hands and like,
And that's not who Nightcrawler is. Nightcrawler is he like, it's like when you play video games. I don't know how many times I play video games where there's an alien race or a non-human race that you can play as, and when you go into the game, 99% of the people play as human because because they don't want to be not non-human. They don't want to relate to the non-human. It's not as popular, like especially when you get wildly non-human elves, that kind of shit. That's still human, but when you have
orcs,
especially reptilian races, you have reptile people and things like that. In just about every MMO I played, they're the rare ones. The Ixar in EverQuest, and that kind of thing. They're just rare because people want this beautiful thing on the screen.
They want to see a little bit of the self in the character, or they want to look at the opposite sex's butt while the character runs. I mean, it's one or the
other. Well, I follow this one troop that I follow. They do that. The guy's like, why did you roll a female character? And he's like, do me a favor. He's like, get down on the ground and do your sneaking thing with your character. And the guy's like doing this like that, and then he gets about three. He gets about three, and he's like, understood.
That's hilarious.
But
or the Dragonborn characters from D&D.
Oh yeah,
like I said, they just, unless they got some kind of like coolness factor, it just doesn't get it. And that's, to me, that's Nightcrawler. It's like
it might as well be something attractive. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
we mentioned in the last podcast, Seraph, my character's name was Fireborn.
Yes. Fireborn, that was it.
It took me a week to remember that, but I finally remembered.
I could have saved you some time, Wayne, by checking our old game logs.
Well,
it
was in here somewhere.
After our last episode, I just didn't get back to thinking about it. But yeah, absolutely, it was Fireborn.
I had to turn a couple pages.
Yep. That was a fun character. I like that campaign.
Oh yeah, he was good. It's good.
We should do a Nerd Pow Wow campaign this time. One shot.
Build your own D&D character.
Have chat in it.
Yeah, there we go. That would be fun.
Well, that's something that we could do that would be kind of neat, though, is that we all roll a character offline, and then we just have a podcast where have an episode where we're just all three of us meet in a pub.
Yeah.
And we'll end with when we leave on whatever adventure. And it's just kind of the intro thing. We just kind of like play along the intro. That'd be kind of fun to do. Yep.
Have you ever played Blade?
No.
It's a story driven. It's a lot more story driven than we've been playing that, and it's been really fun. It's kind of like a supernatural setting. Kind of reminds me of like old England, where you just play these scoundrels. None of your characters be the good guy. You have gamblers, thieves. I had a character that was like kind of like a devil in a way. Like he would make deals. But that's a fun game. It's very open to flake.
Blades in the dark.
Yeah, the images of it give it like a noir feel, but I could see where it's not that.
Yeah, and it's a D&D like game, right? So you can play it however. But yeah, there's like spirits and stuff that you interact with. Or like you could do steampunk elements.
That's kind of cool. I'm always here for steampunk elements.
What else about Nightcrawler, guys?
I mean, you could go into his stories, but I just I mean, I do find it cool, like you were mentioning earlier with the ladies. He has been pretty successful with the ladies, but that's all charisma. You know what I mean? He's a furry demon-looking guy, and
yeah.
And here he goes, and
I want to see. I want to touch his velvety skin feel. So maybe that's how he gets the girls.
I always kind of imagined that he felt like velvet,
or like it feels like a pool table.
Yeah, but I also, like, everyone's always talking about how soft it is, so I always kind of thought it was like a velvet, like he was like a velvet kind of thing, or what's that, like velour?
Yeah.
That's the way I always imagined it. But
catch.
The brimstone, you have fire and brimstone. I mean, it's supposed to happen.
Sure.
So,
his skin is like hairy.
I don't think his tail is furry.
Blue.
I know, and his skin's not blue, so maybe it is.
You're out now.
Yeah.
Oh, it is furry. Oh, his fur is so short, it's often described as velvety or fuzzy.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. His skin is like my Sphinx cat.
Oh, I see. So some comic book, like the movie adaptations and stuff like that, just for artistic sakes, makes his tail look more rubber-like, but it's generally depicted as furry in the comics, etc.
Thin peg Nightcrawler.
Be careful on searching, is Nightcrawler furry?
Yeah,
because
I'm sure.
I'm looking down at my screen and there's a fucking 100 things here about, is Nightcrawler a furry? Nightcrawler is canonically a furry. I got a fucking YouTube thing over here, Nightcrawler fursuit live journal.
Yeah, I'm like you're searching for Nightcrawler furry tail, and I'm like, oh no, I hope he doesn't find one of the strapless ones.
Can't wait to see what the advertisements I get here soon. Yeah, shit.
That's why we don't do Google Live.
I should only ever do Google searches in like incognito mode, because I don't even think about it. I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah, see where they went with that. It's not what I was thinking.
But yeah,
that was fun. What a good character. What a cool character.
Yeah,
we
love him.
We do.
I can't wait what he does. 7, our second part. I think we get that, don't we? Or sometime.
June 13th, guys. June 30th.
Oh,
there's a lot of really good things coming up. That's coming up. I'm excited about this Spider Noir.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be good too.
I love that they're putting it out in 2 ways. You can watch it in color or black and white, which is really crazy cool. I'm just really excited about that.
Yep. Season 2 of Devil May Cry came out. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
Oh,
yet.
really?
Oh, did it?
Yep.
Oh, well.
It's too much good stuff out.
I'm in the middle. I've started to watch Invincible. Invincible.
Okay.
I'm liking it.
Yeah, it's really good.
First episode, because I knew nothing about what was going to happen or the characters, anything. That first episode when he killed the other team, I'm like, what the hell?
That's episode 1. That's how it starts.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I can't wait to see what else is going to happen.
That episode almost made me not watch it anymore, because I really felt like, I was like, oh, this is just a what if Superman was an asshole.
It definitely gets a lot deeper than that, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I didn't, and what I did is when I started watching, I dove into the comics and I started reading the comic, and I'm like, the comics can't be that. They wouldn't have had a successful comic that's all about what if Superman was an asshole.
Yeah.
And they didn't. So reading the comics made me go back to the series, and I greatly enjoyed the series.
Think, Mark.
And then I made Homelander
top notch.
But then there's Homelander.
You didn't catch. I'm joking because you don't like the animation sometimes, John.
Oh yeah.
I think the animation is top notch.
Oh.
I have no problem with the animation, to be honest.
Fair
I mean, just don't look at buildings that you expect them to be mirrored off of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's, hey, it is what it is. It's a very good story, and the voice acting.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm excited. I'm liking it.
Did you recognize any of the voices, Wayne, or watching the first steps?
No.
Okay.
Who should I have recognized?
A lot of Walking Dead voice. A lot of voices from the Walking Dead. Yep.
Not to mention Omni-Man's voice.
His does sound familiar, like I've heard it before.
Yeah, it's J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, it is J.K. Simmons.
And then
no, that makes perfect sense now.
Is Glenn from The Walking
Dead. Glenn? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Glenn. Stephen Ewan is
I saw his name in the credits.
Yep.
Yeah,
isn't he a producer?
Maybe, but he's involved, and he's the voice of Invincible.
Okay. No, I didn't catch that, but I should have caught J.K. Simmons.
John,
I knew he sounded familiar.
Have you gotten to One Punch Man?
I watched the first episode.
Good for you.
Oh, I'm so far behind.
The first episode, and it was like watching all of them at the same time.
Oh my! You can't say that. My favorite, my favorite shtick from One Punch Man is Genos' little cyborg companion guy. When he gets in his little monologues, he goes on forever, and it's played for comedic effect. Where he's like, "But if Master misses his lunch date, then this will happen, and then this will surely," and then he just goes through this whole long monologue, and
at the end, the guy punches something.
That does eventually happen. Yeah, there's at the end of the first season, you get to see him throw a serious punch. Which,
oh yeah,
yeah, he throws a serious punch instead of just a regular.
But you got to make it through the first few episodes first.
Yeah, that's true.
Not so serious punches.
You're not allowed to just watch that episode.
Yeah, it's perfect. He has no struggle. There's no character development, nothing like that. He just shows up, punches a thing, and it's gone. And then that's the end of the episode.
I really need to keep a ledger of shows I need to watch.
You do. I'm telling you, spreadsheet, buddy.
Yeah,
best.
I still haven't started The Boys yet.
Oh my gosh!
I finished Daredevil though. I really like Daredevil.
Dude, I was kind of shocked by the end of that.
I still need Daredevil. I'm waiting to get Disney Plus until we're back fighting.
Yeah, I guess there's going to be a significant time jump for the next season.
And then Bullseye's getting a new costume, they say.
Yep. And they kind of explained away why the one character that's missing. All of this shit's happening in New York, where the new Avengers are stationed, where Spider-Man is stationed. Where the hell are these characters while the Kingpin takes over New York? It's horseshit.
They're on vacation.
So they kind of explained that what's his face? Who's the actor that's been in Scream, and Matthew Lillard. So Matthew Lillard's character in this works for Fontaine, the one who the girl who formed the Thunderbirds, or not Thunderbirds, Thunderbolts. She's the one that formed the Thunderbolts and made them the new Avengers. So being that her guy that works for her is kind of in bed with Fisk a little bit, makes sense why she might keep them out of the picture. But it makes no sense for Spider-Man, especially because Kingpin was started off as a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah,
sure did.
Spider-Man before Daredevil. So some of the best Kingpin stories have been like when the Kingpin's in prison and he finds out that he's the one that did Aunt May. That was
brutal.
Some of the best comedy. Brutal. Some of the best. I love it. He takes his mask off. He's like, "This is not Spider-Man. It's kicking your ass." It's Peter Parker. And he beats him like the Kingpin is highly trained and extremely strong and everything else
super
for a
powerful.
human. Yeah, but he's not super powered.
Yeah.
And so watching Spider-Man just
beat the brakes off of him.
Nothing he could do. He just takes away all of his power, like all of his just emasculates him in front of all the other prisoners and everyone else that he's held so much power and esteem, and everybody's so fearful of him. And he made this giant Kingpin so small. And I'm like, ooh, that was good writing. It was great drawing. It was everything about it was beautiful. Loved that one.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great episode. Thanks everybody in chat for hanging out. Everybody on YouTube, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll catch you guys later.
Quick thing before we go, before we jump. For that story idea I had earlier about the maybe making up some D&D things, we all meet in the pub.
Yeah.
We could have the people who join us in Twitch be NPCs in the pub, and they throw us just curves or a conversation.
There you go.
They can come up with any kind of NPC they want. So we're all three meeting in we establish our characters at the beginning, and they just decide how they want to interact as an NPC. And maybe we'll advertise it a little bit so we get some people that aren't here necessarily tonight that might want to participate in that. Make it a big kind of a special episode. I think that'd be really fun.
It'd be fun.
I like that a lot.
Something different to do. So
yeah,
cool. All right, well that was it. I just had a thought. I wanted to share.
Well, hey, you heard it here. Tune into the Nerd Pow Wow. Eventually, we'll shenanigans, role playing, and it'll be a good time.
Shenanigans.
See you guys. Bye.
Later.
It's our voices.
Well, step aside and watch how my adoring fans flock to me.
We give our fellow nerds